In the 1890s, a Russian scientist called Dmitry Ivanovsky was studying diseased tobacco plants. He crushed the leaves and passed the extract from a filter that can remove bacteria. To his amazement, it could still infect the plants. Scientists didn't have a name for what was causing this disease, but they knew it was not bacteria. As more scientists started working on this mysterious infection, new properties started to emerge. A Dutch scientist found that these can only multiply in presence of a host. A few decades later, in 1931, after the invention of electron microscopes, the first images were taken of this mysterious thing. The thing we now call the virus. So what exactly is a virus? Where did they come from? How do they work? And can they die? Well, stay tuned to find out. Hey everyone, this is Tower Science, simplified science to make you smarter. Wherever there is life, there are viruses. They may have existed since the life first emerged on our planet, but their origin remains a mystery as they can't fossilize. Some scientists believe that a few bits of escaped DNA or RNA turned into a virus, while others say that they were once parasite cells and eventually they developed. There are also theories that infer that they evolved at the same time the first cells originated, though a conclusive theory of their origin is yet to come. A virus is relatively simple in design. It consists of genes that are made of DNA or RNA. The number of genes is pretty small. Like an influenza virus has 8 genes and humans have 20,000 to 25,000. These genes are enclosed in a protective coat of protein called the capsid. Some viruses are also surrounded by a bubble of fat that makes them vulnerable to soap and alcohol. There are millions of species of viruses, and only few of them are harmful to humans. They are the most abundant biological entity in aquatic ecosystems. Just 1 teaspoon of seawater contains 10 million viruses. They play a significant role in recycling carbon in marine environments and indirectly reduce 3 gigatons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere every year. When a virus infects a cell, it forces it to make its copies. These copies then invade the other cells and repeat the same process. The life cycle of a virus starts with its attachment to the surface of the host cell. One type of virus can attach only to specific cells. It's like a lock and key mechanism. That's why plant viruses can only connect and infect plant cells and not animal cells. The next stage is penetration. Once the virus is inside the host, it removes its outer layer or capsid, releasing its contents. The host cells have their DNA or RNA manufacturing systems. The virus seizes these to make hundreds of its copies. Once this is done, the new viruses escape the cell and move on to repeat the same process over and over again with other host cells. Most infections result in the death of the host cell. Some virus infections are eventually warded off by the host immune systems, while others like hepatitis B and C can cause lifelong infections. When a viral infection spreads over a large geographic area, we call it a pandemic. Other than smallpox, pandemics are usually caused by mutant viruses. These viruses earlier used to circulate in humans and animals in their less harmful state. The same goes for the infamous COVID-19 virus. Vaccines and antiviral drugs are the two main ways to combat viruses. Vaccines simulate infections and related immune system response without making one sick. They either contain dead or weakened viruses. Sometimes they only have virus capsids. So far, almost 14 viral diseases can be prevented with vaccines. But it's not always that simple to make a vaccine. Take AIDS for example. The human immune system is almost blind to this disease. The body tries to fight it, but only manages to slow it down. Vaccines are designed to copy the immune system response of the recovered people. Since no one has recovered from it, so there is nothing to copy. Killed AIDS virus can't initiate an immune response, and a weakened one is too dangerous to use. Moreover, it adapts quickly, making it even harder to develop a vaccine. In these situations, antiviral drugs are used. Antiviral drugs disable specific viral proteins. It's important that these proteins should not resemble any proteins found in humans. Antiviral drugs don't destroy the virus, they just inhibit their growth. So can viruses die? Well, for something to die, it has to be alive in the first place. Viruses are not considered completely living since they can't reproduce without a host cell. Most scientists agree that they are in a borderline area between living and dead. Rather than using alive or dead, we use viability, as how long the virus is viable to cause infection. HIV virus can only survive for a few hours outside the host body, while the smallpox virus can cause illness even after years. When outside the body, virucides can be used to deactivate or destroy the virus. There are many virucides out there. Most common ones are soap, alcohol, bleach, etc. There is a fair amount of research being carried out on viruses with encouraging results. We hope that soon medical science can develop a cure that can end the current pandemic and eliminate the chances of further ones happening in future and save millions of lives. Do hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. Let me know what topics do you want to see next, and as always, keep learning, keep exploring until you know everything.